Namaste, Pranam, Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gratitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitam Vritavarshinim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayinim Ambatva Manusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshinim. O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Arjuna. The ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters. O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, the 9th Adhyaya of Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga, the yoga of supreme science and the supreme secret, the kingly science and the kingly secret that Sri Krishna is teaching us in this 9th Adhyaya. And this is the so-called topmost secret. It is a guhyatamam idam that he is telling us. And Sri Krishna has told us that having known this, you can get the knowledge, you can get the realization, which is much higher. This knowledge that he is giving is much higher than what he has explained to us in the Jnana Vijnana Yoga, because this is only for the elite. This is not for one and all. This is a unique science, a unique secret that he is sharing with us. And with that sharing of this secret, with this great, tremendous knowledge, he is also confusing us, isn't it? That sometimes he says, everything dwells in me, all beings dwell in me. And in the next moment, he denies that and he says, nothing dwells in me. Now, what should we poor guys, we poor fellows, we should do hearing these words of Sri Krishna? What to believe? Whether to believe that everything dwells in him, or whether to believe what he has taught us in the 5th shloka of this 9th adhyaya, that nothing dwells in me. So, Sri Krishna is once again, he is creating this contradiction and explaining to us how to understand this contradiction. Having understood this, we are going to get a great learning. And Sri Krishna says, the last shloka that we read, in the 4th shloka, Sri Krishna has taught us that mat-sthānī sarva-bhūtāni. In me are dwelling all these beings. This entire creation dwells in me. Sarva-bhūtāni mat-sthānī. Here he has decidedly told us in the 4th shloka. Now in the 5th shloka he says, nacha mat-sthāni bhūtāni. Now what to do? Whether it is mat-sthāni bhūtāni or nacha mat-sthāni bhūtāni, that no beings dwell in me, nor do the beings dwell in me. Nevertheless, he says, I am bringing forth these beings. I am bringing forth this creation. That bhūta bhavanaha. Also, I am sustaining this creation. Bhūta bhrunna. I nourish these beings. But nacha bhūtasthaha. But I am not part of that. I don't dwell in them. I have got nothing to do with them. I am no way connected with them. I am absolutely not attached with any of these that I am creating and that I am sustaining. Mind you, I am not part of it. So that is what Sri Krishna told us in the 5th shloka of the Rajavidya, Rajaguhya Yoga. And then we had seen, to understand that meaning, we had seen the example of how different objects, they get reflected in the mirror, but mirror is no way connected, no way affected. Similarly, the TV screen, that every day we look at the TV screen, that TV screen is not affected. Likewise, Sri Krishna says, although everything is me, and nothing is in me, nothing is in me. I am there in everything, but I am not there in everything. I am not involved, I am not concerned, I am not attached, I am not affected. So now let us see what Sri Krishna has to further tell us in the 6th shloka of this 9th adhyaya. Sri Krishna says, yathākāśa-sthito nityaṁ vāyuḥ sarvatra-go mahān tathā sarvāṇi bhūtāni mat-sthānītyupadhāraya. Mat-sthānītyupadhāraya. So Sri Krishna is saying, now he has understood our confusion. He has understood the dilemma that we are in now, what to believe. Whether beings dwell in the Lord or beings don't dwell in the Lord. Although he has said that, yes, I create everything. He has said that I sustain everything, but nacha bhūtāsthaha. I am not connected in that. I am not dwelling in any of these beings. I am not attached to them. There is no connect between me and this creation. So now Sri Krishna has understood our dilemma, he has understood our confusion, and now he is giving a wonderful example. Like the example we ourselves we gave about the mirror and the TV screen. Now Sri Krishna is giving a more prominent example of his Yoga Ishvara, of his Aishwarya, of his yoga, of his divine yoga. Now he is giving the example. Yathākāśa-sthito, as in the space, Akasha, as the space is pervaded by what? Nityaṁ vāyuḥ sarvatra-go mahān. As this mahān vāyuḥ, this mahān vāyuḥ exists in the space. Yathākāśa-sthito nityaṁ, and that doesn't happen that the air, the wind is occupying this space just for a few minutes. No. Nityaṁ, constantly the air, the wind is occupying the space. And sarvatra-go, each and every nook and corner of the space is occupied by air. Beautiful example. And Sri Krishna says, it is the mahān vāyuḥ. Now, among the 5 pancha mahabhutas, the 5 cosmic principles of earth, water, fire, air and ether and space, Sri Krishna is here. He has chosen these 2 elements of Akasha and Vayu to explain this phenomena, this Maya, this statement of the Lord himself. He has chosen these 2 because among the rest of the 3 elements there is still some kind of limitation. All the 3 mahabhutas, among the pancha mahabhutas, they have their limitations of existence. They have form, for that matter. It is only the space and Vayu, the Akash and Vayu, they can be connected with the ultimate divine and the creation in it. So Sri Krishna says he has referred to Vayu as mahān. In this example, he is not talking about water or earth or fire. They have their own forms. They have their own limitations for that matter. The moment there is a form, there is a limitation. So Sri Krishna doesn't say, like water exists in the Akash. No. Water, first of all, or earth or fire, it cannot occupy Akasha in totality. Wherever earth is there, only that small portion of the space, these three mahabhutas, these three cosmic principles, they can occupy only that much portion of their share. It is only the wind, it is only the air which will occupy the whole of space. And normally whenever such example is given, the Paramatman, the Akshara Brahman, which is Avyakta, is denoted by this Mahabhuta of the space, which can't be seen, which doesn't have any form. Space is the only Mahabhuta which can be equated to some extent with the Akshara Brahman. Not even Vayu for that matter, because even Vayu can be perceived. If the wind is blowing heavily, we can feel the wind, isn't it? If the wind is carrying some fragrances, we can smell the fragrances, isn't it? Although wind may not be touched by those fragrances, by those odors. But the moment we burn an incense stick, say, oh, the wind carries that fragrance. The wind carries that beautiful smell. And we can know wind is there. But what about the space? So, Sri Krishna says, yathākāśa-sthito nityaṁ vāyuḥ sarvatra-go mahān. Like the Vayu, the mighty wind is all the time pervading this entire space. Tathā sarvāṇi bhūtāni mat-sthānītyupadhāraya. In the same manner, all these beings, you know that they are in me. Now, again, Sri Krishna is twisting his words. First, he says, now here, let us understand his real teaching. Air is in the space, but space is not in the air. Space is not in the air. And with this example, Sri Krishna wants to teach us this great truth. And this is the great secret, that whatever the creation is there, it is just filling in the tidbits of this Paramatman. That's it. Paramatman, the Akshara Brahma, is no way connected with this creation. As the mighty wind moving everywhere ever rests in the Akasha, in the ether, know that so do all beings rest in me. That is the ultimate teaching in this 6th shloka. Now, Akasha is the origin and background of other 4 elements. In Akasha remain, all these 4 elements, the 4 Mahabhutas, they are dwelling in Akasha. The earth, the water, the fire and air. But only air has got that luxury of occupying the space in totality. Neither water, nor fire, nor earth, they cannot occupy space in totality. As at the same time, this Akasha remains unattached to the elements. In Akasha, all the 4 elements are there. They dwell in the Akasha, they dwell in the space. But the space is not concerned with the individual elements. Even so, the manifested universe that has come forth from Brahman causes no modification or mutation or changes in that Brahman. You can't say, okay, this much of Akasha has been occupied. Akasha is huge. So what, I am putting this mobile phone in that space. So what? The Akasha is so huge. Its magnanimity is no way going to be affected by placing this mobile phone in that space. That's the greatness of the Akasha. And in the similar way, that is the greatness of the Akshara Brahma. Brahman is not going to be affected by all the... Compared to Brahman, this creation, our earth, our planetary system, our galaxies, our Milky Way, and these are insignificant for that matter. These are just the child's play for the Brahman. So what way Brahman can get affected by all this? He is not at all concerned also. He is not at all attached also. Even so, the manifested universe that has come forth from Brahman causes no modification or mutation in the Brahman. An understanding of the way of Akasha helps us in comprehension of Brahman. Through this example, this is one of the most apt example that Sri Krishna has given to explain to us this reality of everything dwells in me and at the same time nothing dwells in me. I am not part of anything. Exactly like that. The other four Mahabhutas existing in the Akasha. To limited extent the earth, to limited extent the water, to limited extent the fire, occupying the space, and air is occupying everything. But Akasha is not affected by air at all. Akasha is Akasha. Now, after a long time, we have got to read Sri Ramakrishna's teaching on this particular the advice, the teaching of Sri Krishna. Sri Ramakrishna says, though the wind carries the good and bad odor alike, it remains unaffected by both. Parabrahman is in this wise unaffected by the phenomenal world, like we have seen while talking about the presence of wind, presence of vāyuḥ in the Akasha. That air may carry the odors, but for that matter, is air affected by the odor? No way. Today it is a beautiful smell that having burnt the incense stick, we get wonderful fragrance, we get wonderful smell. But next moment, if there is some gush of air which is coming from the drainage, suddenly we will just close up. Oh, what a bad smell. Now, is air anyway affected by that? Air is no way affected. And Sri Ramakrishna in this example, through this example, he tells us in the same way. The Brahman is no way affected by whatever is happening in this phenomenal world. Brahman has got nothing to do with it. Like Sri Krishna says, I have got nothing to do with it. Sri Ramakrishna tells us that Brahman in fact has got nothing to do with this phenomenal world. The phenomenal world, he is making it work like that. But the Brahman is making it. The Purusha, Paramadivya Purusha is making this Prakriti dance to his tune. But the Paramadivya Purusha, the Akshara Brahma, is no way connected with it, no way attached to it. It is absolutely aloof. And that is the best example of the detachment, of remaining unattached, that we can learn from Sri Krishna telling us his great teachings through the Bhagavad Gita. So that was our reading of the 6th Shloka of the Rajavidya Rajaguhya Yoga, the 9th Adhyaya of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ramakrishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.